Here's how to make a viral Lemon8 post to massively increase your followers, gain more brand collabs, and win awesome giveaways. For this video, I'll use my knowledge on making image ads for a marketing agency, my design theory that I learned from school, my experience with creating viral content on Lemon8, as well as incorporating things that I learned from attending a Lemon8 workshop, which taught me how their algorithm pushes new posts. In case you're wondering whether this actually works, I tried them out, and today, my account has almost 40% of posts with more than 100 likes or saves. So keep watching this if you want to learn how to do this for your own Lemon8 account as well. Let's begin! To make a Lemon8 post, you need to brainstorm 5 components: the cover, the caption, related posts, headline, and hashtags. I'm only going to be teaching about making covers in this video, but if you're interested in learning the rest, stay tuned because I'll be posting about them soon. Good covers have attention-grabbing images, eye-catching colors, and use design techniques to direct the reader's eye to the post. Imagine you saw these posts on your feed. Take a moment to think which post in each of these 5 images grabs your attention. You can pause this video to identify them first before continuing. For me, and I think for you as well, these are the images that grabbed my attention. For the first image, it's a top left image because it uses a human face element, which is a tactic commonly used in ad images as well, where we incorporate humans which connects with the audiences better. The closer up the face is, the better, because the eyes can convey emotion and can be a very powerful way of engaging the viewer. Then you might ask, the right image has a human too. That's right, but there's a difference between them. The face is covered and it's not directly looking at the viewer, unlike the other image, which is a design technique called demand gazing. This tactic is used to engage with the viewer as well as to cause them to look back as well. In the second image, this animated character caught my attention. This is what we call a pattern interrupt, and it's different from the rest of the cover images where it's a hand-drawn cartoon, while the rest are real-life photos, thereby attracting attention. It's the same concept as the third image, where the text image grabs the most attention. There's a lot of white space in this image, and just text, which is a stark contrast with the rest of the covers that have a very cluttered feel. Then, we look at the fourth image. I noticed the cup decorated as a face with plants first. It's a very unique image, nothing like what I've ever seen before, and that's what attracts people. Finally, we look at the fifth image, and this should be the one that grabs the most attention. It was effective in doing so because it's of its striking red color bulb. The color red is a very attention-grabbing color, so you can consider using it if you want people to pause at your post while scrolling their feeds. The more vibrant it is, the better. Apart from using red, you can create eye-catching colors via color harmonies. For the complementary color harmony, you can just use 2 colors that are on the opposite ends of the color wheel. As you can see from this Brave movie poster, which has complementary colors, this combination produces an image that really pops out because of the sharp contrast between the colors. If you don't like this combination, you can also consider the analogous color harmony, which is also very pleasant to look at since it gives off a very calming vibe. This harmony is achieved when you use colors that are beside each other on the color wheel. If you want to find colors that suit these harmonies, go to Canva's color wheel. I'll put a link in the description, so go check that out. One special way you can make your image stand out even if you don't have eye-catching colors or unique images is to use design techniques. The first technique is called leading lines. There are lots of hoses pointing to the goal. The hoses are what we call leading lines. It leads our eyes to be directed to where the goal is at. These leading lines don't necessarily have to be hoses. They can be any objects like pencils or anything that forms a line that points in one direction. If your image has a lot of elements, this is a good way to get people to know where you want them to pay attention to by using leading lines and pointing in that direction. But what if it's not an object but an eye? Eyes can act as a way to direct the viewer's eyes as well. They do so in 2 ways: demand gazing and transfer gazing. Demand gazing happens when the subject looks directly at the viewer, giving them a sense of connection and causing them to respond by looking back. If you do not look at the viewer, but maybe look at something else like a product on their hands, this is called transfer gazing instead, where the viewer's eyes are directed to whatever the person is looking at. Use this if you are promoting a product and you want to draw attention to it within the image. To recap, let's look at an image where I tried to use everything I mentioned. It utilizes colors that are contrasting, has the transfer gazing design technique, and it's a unique image that grabs people's attention. While most people might just put a normal picture of a chicken since it's a post about buying chicken at a wet market, I used a sassy looking chicken that people have probably never seen before in their lives. It's looking at a plate of chicken rice, making the viewer think that the part circled is the chicken part that is used to make chicken rice. They are probably thinking in their minds, can a chicken head be used to make chicken rice too? It intrigues them and makes them want to click into the post and read more. Then we look at colors. While it's not exactly a complementary color harmony, the colors are far enough apart on the color wheel to make them be sufficiently contrasting to each other. Perhaps because of these, it went viral and had 26.7k views in 2 months. Next, let's talk about image tags. Most of the time, people add tags to their image as it adds additional context to the post and can serve to still retain the audience's attention, even if the headline or image might not be that interesting to them. Good image tags on covers are not too wordy, uses legible fonts, and most of the time contains subtext to bring more context to the user to decide whether or not to click the post. These are examples of posts with and without subtext. The images on the left didn't perform as well as the images on the right because they didn't have subtext. For someone looking at the left image, they might think, why is this kitchen appliance their favorite? Maybe the price, the color, or maybe the functionality. The other image, however, says exactly why it's a great kitchen appliance and lists all the functions this appliance can provide. The viewer is going to be like, whoa, I've never seen anything like this before. I'm going to click it to find the name of the product, which is not reviewed in the cover or the headline, generating just enough curiosity for the viewer to click in. Another example is the images on the weight loss results. Although the left image is about a girl who lost more weight than a girl on the right image performs a lot better because it provided a lot of context of what the poster did to achieve this weight loss. It even targets a pain point by saying, I still eat whatever I want, which is also why this was super effective in gaining people's attention via subtext and how you can do so as well. When deciding what image text to put, it's good to be specific as well, as being specific paints an image in the viewer's mind, making them more interested to click in to continue this story that is already forming in their heads. This is also why the left image here had a lot more views than the image on the right, because people are really imagining this story when she mentions how she got laid off and how she looks since she brings up her age. The right image is really vague because there might be a lot of reasons why someone doesn't know what to do with their life. It doesn't paint as strong an image in the viewer's mind, and they are thus not as compelled to click it. That being said, it doesn't mean you should write as much text as possible. Your cover still needs to be easy for it to be read, and too much text just takes too long for people to read your post, making them more likely to scroll away from it. These are examples of covers that didn't perform well because they weren't easy to read. This could be because it has low contrast with the background color such that it blends with the background, like the left image. Or because the text was on a background that is too cluttered or too colorful, like the right image. Another reason could also be that the font size is very small, so people have to spend extra effort to make out what the text is supposed to read. If you want a text style, a font style that is very legible, I would recommend sans serif fonts, although I have seen other posts with other font styles doing well because they use other techniques in their covers. There is one exception towards having super wordy image text. That is when the image text is part of the content that the poster was trying to convey. If this text provides value to the reader, it will perform well. So that's it. This is all my tips for creating Lemon8 covers, and if you learned something, I would really appreciate it if you give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be making a video on how to make Lemon8 headlines and captions next, so stay tuned. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.